Hey gang, Jamie Aston, and we got my girl Bella with me, and muzzleloading season started 2 days ago on Saturday. I came out here, I hunted. I didn't film, but I had 3 nice doe come through here, solo does. They fit the criteria of I'll shoot a doe early season if they're solo, and this is where I shot my first 8-point buck from this stand back there. Well, I wasn't filming. I had my 360 camera right here, and I heard something over here, and I kept looking over here, but this buck had come from somewhere over here. By the time I saw him, he was right here. I'm steady looking over here, and he's just walking slow, and so I kind of moved my gun, and he is right here now. And he was just looking, trying to do their test. A doe would stomp and do all these other things, move her head real quick, try to catch you moving. But a buck, they will just run. They're not gonna too much make noise and say, I'm here. If they find something they don't like, they just get out of here. And so he was checking, so he was gonna he lowered their head, and as soon as their head went behind one of those pine trees right there, I put my scope on, and I said, as soon as he come through that right there, I'm pulling that trigger. Golly, I have never missed with this muzzleloader. This is a CVA Accura V2. I got this Simmons muzzleloader scope on there. I took off the open sights. I have never, this thing is on point. This is my favorite hunting rifle. I ain't gonna lie to you. In fact, I'm probably just gonna take my rifle with me and leave my backpack and stuff. We're gonna load the rifle up just in case we see a second monster buck, and that'll end my season right there. Here's Miss Bella. Here is Miss Bella right here, and she's in my Badlands hunting backpack. I'm gonna have to tell Badlands that they discontinued this backpack. It was a bow hunting backpack. I loved it, but they discontinued it. And here's the deal: when I came in earlier, I walked in, I set up, I walked in with my deer decoy. That's a bug decoy right there. I didn't have a chance to load up the whole decoy, and since I was walking in, we're gonna leave that rifle right there for now. I put out some buck urine. Let me try to see if there it is. There's my GoPro lens cover. See this buck deer right here? I put it in between the tree just in case I was gonna be down here. But when I was walking in holding my buck decoy. Of course, I had my orange on and stuff like that. But just in case a deer saw me moving or anything. Now, I'm putting my orange just in case somebody's poaching, but nobody should be out here poaching. This is private land. And we do have a side on just in case this deer is up. But we got him. I saw the blood shooting out. Let's see here. Man, this is the latest time I shot a buck at 12:30. There's the blood right there. We got blood right there. So here's where I shot him. So there's the stand right there, and he was looking back at me. I had to move the stand. So right now when they see me from over here, I'm a little bit silhouette, but the stand used to be more over here facing in this direction. But I found one time that there's this smart doe. She comes from over here, and she will see me sometime. And I've let so many does walk for years. So, look at all that blood. You see how red this blood is right here? The blood was a little high. There's the blood right there. People say, Jamie, you doing it wrong. Yeah, I wanted to walk up through there. He's down here on the ground somewhere. There he is, right there. I see the blood on top of him. Yeah, gotta be careful walking over all these old logs and stuff though. Snakes are still out. That's so rotten right there too. Just watch it, watch it. Watch it, watch it. There he is. Nice rat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice 8 point right here. It's a long shot. You see a little bit of air bubbles, things like that. And right through where we're gonna go get. So, nice. It's actually a good sized deer. Try to see if I can get me a bell in this thing. A nice little picture. Alright, so what I'm gonna do, grab by the antlers. Sometimes they don't seem as heavy as I might think sometimes. I got this little bag from the deer camp. I'm gonna pass it. If I can't limit the blood, it gets everywhere, but such is life. Oh, shoot. He ain't that small. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. We got it kind of close, so we can see if we can't transfer this thing. Like I said, it's gonna be 80 degrees today, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this to the processor. Ah, shoot, he is heavy. All right, we got the deer on the car. Leave it on, leave it, leave it, leave it. I don't need you getting bloody. Let's go. Let's go. We got knives, we got gloves. We just got these quarters. Hey gang, Jamie Aston, and we are about to finish processing this deer. Those are game bags, and it's been on dry ice. This stuff is frozen solid. You can see the ice. So I've kind of tried to let it thaw out just a little bit. We have our meat tray right here, and underneath it we have ice. So we're gonna keep ice underneath here like that, and kind of keep it cool. Finally, last thing we're gonna be doing is we got a meat grinder right there. I've used that for about 3 seasons. I added a foot controller to it, just a Cabela's Pro Series DC meat grinder. I don't mind this ice block getting a little bleach on it, things like that, because it is gonna go back inside the game bag. That's the most important thing when you're doing this stuff is, and one of the main reasons why I do it myself is because I trust myself to keep it sanitary, over, and the processors might be mixing in my meat with somebody else's, and I get my deer checked out for chronic wasting disease. The goal is just to keep everything cold, and work fast. But there's only so fast we can go, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started now. I'll just show you. We're back sealing our back straps first. Now we got the roast and everything, they're still frozen right here. So that was just a big chunk of meat with all the roast and everything else like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all this stuff processed. And we got jerky, meat and things like that. All the big piece of jerky meat I'm putting in the bag by itself so I can make jerky out of it. And inside tenderloins and the back strap, I'm just doing one back strap at a time, just in case. Just doing it for myself, or I'm gonna give it away or something like that. This deer actually gave a lot of meat. That's one thing about killing a bigger buck. You get a lot of meat. And the main goal is this. What I like to do is I like to trim as much fat off as I can as I go. Now, the cool thing about these quarters right here, I already did a lot of the work. We're just going to be going through and trimming just more fat. But when I deboned it, I trimmed off a lot of stuff with it, And I was outside at the time, which, only had so much time. You don't want to do anything. I was in the shade, but it was still a hot day. So what we're gonna do right now is go ahead and finish this up. Go ahead and get my roast out. Go ahead and get some big steaks out. I guess one last thing right here. I was able to get this roast off on this side right here, and so it's still frozen solid, which is very good, And so there's some of the fat cap right there. Deer fat doesn't taste really good like beef fat does or anything, so my little cheap little Walmart replaceable knife blade is starting to dull a little bit. But I have a few of these cheap knives that they come in little kits every season, and then they will go away. So we're gonna go ahead. Let's see here. Just trying to make sure this is kind of big. It's a big roast, honestly. It's a really big roast. So what we're gonna do, because this was a big deer, we're gonna cut this in half. It's just for me. What I do is I take these things, make sure no fur. That's one of the things. Another thing, like I do. Look at that, right there. Look at that right there. That's 2 roasts right there. So, all right, we're gonna be doing our last little batch. A lot of some of this is chunky. I don't even have to grind it, but I like a premium grind anyhow. A lot of people think a grind has to be just scrappy meat, and for me, it's not gonna be scrappy meat. It's gonna be some steak pieces. It's gonna be a lot of things like that too. We're gonna be doing 2 grinds. One, we're gonna be putting some beef fat inside of it, and the other, we're gonna be putting some pork bacon. So Would you all believe there was a point in life where I didn't want to touch raw meat? I did not like touching raw meat. Still don't like touching chicken too much. But since I turkey hunt, I had to think about that even. Alright, so we're just gonna start going through here. Now, that looks good. And so what I'll do a lot of times is go ahead and run it through one more time. Just so we can get a good look mix. Not trying to be too crazy with it. You know, it is what it is. Again, Jamie Aston, we're gonna go ahead and end this video. And yes, just FYI, it is clean again, you know. But you know you're old or getting old or something wise when your birthday present is a deep freezer. But check it out. We got some steaks right here. Got some stew meat. I'm freezing up some ice packs. Got some ground. Got some roast. We're not gonna take everything out. We're trying to let everything freeze up. So we got a lot of meat down there in that section right there. You know. So we are filling this thing up. That's probably gonna go ahead and just, we can just put everything down. I want it all to freeze. I want it all to freeze. Nothing needs to be in that top tray right now. But I did want it to be separate. I don't want it to, I made sure everything was dry because sometimes what happened is my packages stick together and stuff like that. I don't want that. Those steaks. There you go. So we can definitely get this 3.5 foot from Insignia, you know, Best Buy brand. But I think you could probably fit 2 to 3 deer in here. Depend. The average, you know, a buck you'll always get more. But like if you get a good doe, you could get about 40 pounds of meat from a doe. I got way more than 40 pounds of meat from this buck. But there was still more. I just got tired of like the neck meat. You know, I didn't take all of it. I usually don't. You can grind it all up, but I like my grind to be a little bit more of a, I'm not gonna say premium. I think all of the deer is premium, but you know, a lot of good cuts of meat that people probably wouldn't grind. But it's a scrap. I keep a lot of big pieces of meat. So this, but I don't keep a lot of fatty stuff, and I trim a lot of the lining and liner and silver skin, all that type of stuff like that. So all of my trimmings will be going back to the woods. I'm going to dump it far off from where I hunt, but it's going to be for the coyotes and things like that. So nothing goes to the garbage bin. We don't try to put anything in the garbage because I don't waste that life for meat. So the stuff that we don't eat, the bones, all that type of stuff goes right back to the woods. And that's what I did. Anything I debone, right back to the forest. And I do that every year. Yeah, so anywho, sending the video from field to freezer. If you have any comments, questions, anything like that, contact me, jamieaston.com. You can also leave a comment down this video. Thank you, Team Snow.